lead to success. Sun Tzu, the great military strategist and general, said every battle is won before it's fought. See, and I think every prospecting session is the success of it is determined before you even pick up the phone. Have you minimized the distraction? Have you turned off your phone? Have you done all these things so that when you come in, you're nose down grinding, and you're just like, if you're on a dialing system with FUB or Sierra or anything along these lines, you're just like, next, press the dialer, next, press the dialer, next, press the dialer, next, press the dialer, right? For me, if you're going to spend the hour, you got to get at least 5 conversations in that hour, man.
The good look. I love the color. Good job on the color.
I'm a vest dude, bro.
Oh, nice.
I have about 6 different ones, and this one was a color that, in fact, I bought it at the Broadmoor, Brian. So
there you go.
Yeah. And
that's the salmon color, Bill.
Yes, it is salmon. Yeah, that's right. So this is salmon.
That's so good.
This is salmon.
So we come into 2023. If it's pink, we could say pink. It's okay now, right?
I don't know.
I know that's salmon, but that's what people would say when they wear something pink. This isn't pink, it's salmon.
Yes, this is salmon. I thought this was orange. I think we're live.
Yeah. We can't talk. Webinars, we get the best we can.
Yes.
Well, guys, thanks for joining us. We've got my friend and co-host, Brian Curtis. What's up, Brian? How are you?
Good to see you, Tristan. Doing great. It's almost the end of the year. Life's just good,
I love it, man. And we have a friend of ours and our special guest today, Bill Pipes. Bill, what's up, man?
Not much, bud. Just enjoying Warrior Week, right? Brian, I think you heard me say that earlier today. I call this week Warrior Week because, it's really the week of true warriors who are like the sales warriors that are out there, and everyone else has come up with excuses of why they can't. And there's a good group of individuals that are looking at why they should and can. And so, up until Thursday, I'm like, let's push, baby.
I love it, man.
Let's grit this out. So, yeah.
I like it. Well, we're live into LabCoatAgents too. So we have a few different audiences here. You've got the webinar, the Facebook group, and then other groups that we're playing live into. So, Bill, we've got you on because we have Agent Academy coming up in January. Let's get started with that first. What is that, and why should we attend?
Sure. So we got the Agent Academy and, partnered with Success, which is really exciting, Success Coaching, for our what's called our Sales Mastery event. And what this really, one thing that I'm really clear on right now is agents with skills are winning, period, right? Agents have 2 things. And leaders, for that matter, leaders that have skills, agents that have skills, and agents that have discipline. And this is I will use a really great example. We've been running this thing called Monday Mayhem, Tristan, which is I've been tagging you on this every single Monday.
Yep, I've been seeing it.
Yeah, it's it's a full day of prospecting. We had a group of, I'd say probably 1,000 agents that have done this now. And granted, it's dropped off a little bit every single week. And this week was our last week. One of our great agents, EXP agent, Mike Perna, that's up in Detroit.
Mike.
Yeah. Check out these numbers. Okay. Today they set 143 appointments in a day. Their team did. And they came in with a total of 400. Sadie sent this to me. 413 appointments set over 4 weeks. And those are legit appointments. This isn't like I'm going to go get my hair cut, or, this is my mom and I'm coming over for Christmas or Hanukkah. Right. And so what's been really great, Tristan, and this comes back to why the 9th, 10th, and the 11th matters. We've gotten a really great condensed amount of data during that time from thousands of agents, or close to 1,000 agents that are all doing this, on what skills matter right now. Okay. And the teams that have been crushing it are the ones that are super disciplined, have great leadership, but also that they're saying the right things. So what is the 9th, 10th, and 11th? What is Sales Mastery? It is a 3-day intensive, unpacking of day number 1 is what is the strategy? What are the skills and disciplines necessary to be to lead generate without having to spend a whole bunch of money on marketing? I am a very huge advocate and Brian, you know this, you lead with prospecting, you support it with marketing, you enhance that prospecting. The prospecting gets enhanced by marketing, because then you're making calls and people go, oh shit, I see you everywhere. The market that we were in though in majority of 2022 and definitely 2021 was I'm going to lead with my marketing because it's easy and simple, and I don't have to do a lot of prospecting because there's a line of people out my door that are calling me because they want to buy or sell right now, right? With that shift that took place, a lot of agents got caught behind the 8 ball because they confused a really good market with them being really great agents.
And that's true. That's funny, man. That's so true.
And I mean that with full respect to all the agents out there. So so on day 9, when I say this is a boot camp, it really is a dialogue scripting strategy course where you're learning the scripts and the dialogues that are effective, that these agents that Perna and his team are using, right, to be able to work your past clients in Sphere, to be able to provide value to them. Expireds, I'm hitting expireds hard again right now because that market is coming back, especially at the beginning of this year. How to convert and drive your conversion numbers. And what we do is we actually teach you what to say. You role play it in the class. I teach you the subtle nuances, both like advanced NLP techniques that are built into the script and the basic like 8 pillars of influence. That's day number 1. Day number 2, we switch over to buyers, the buyer consult, open houses, pieces of those. Again, strategy, dialogue, and then the marketing go along with it. Day number 3 is all listing. It's the listing presentation and the pre-listing package, the pre-listing process, pre-qualifying, what to do on the listing presentation. And unlike other seminars where it's just some dude standing up or some gal standing up and going, here's what you do. They get dirty. They get their feet, their hands dirty. They're learning what to do. And in the evening, they go out and use it, meaning that there's like an hour to 2 hours because the event doesn't end at 4:30 and be over. It's 4:30, take a little break and then go use the shit, right? Because the best thing that I don't know about you, brother, okay, is I've been to many events where Tony Robbins, for example, where I get totally lit up. And then the gap in between me executing, like me getting excited and executing is longer. And so therefore the probability of me having sustainable change disappears, right? And so we collapse that down. They go and use it immediately. That confidence gets built. And that's why people walk out with 3 or 4 appointments from the 3 days. So yeah.
Makes a lot of sense, man. So if I'm going to start today, what are the things that I need to be looking at to start setting 100+ appointments in a day? Like it doesn't just start there, but where do I start with just like 1 appointment a day?
So I will go to like, and we hear these huge numbers and sometimes it becomes daunting. And of course they can do it. They've got a big team, et cetera. But I can go to some individual agents like my buddy Drew Dorn that's in Silicon Valley that set 5 appointments first week, 4 appointments the second week, 6 appointments the third week, solo agent, right? Not a team, just himself in a very competitive market, be very clear, right? And so here's where I would start. Number 1, okay? I know this is going to sound odd, but you need to suit up, boot up, and get your ass into the office every single day. Yeah.
Tristan, you need a cup that says suit up and boot up. That's right. What you need a cup.
Yeah. Bro. We need a cup or have a t-shirt.
Suit up and boot up.
Yeah, suit up, boot up, baby. Because, like I look at, I'll just use Mayhem as an example, bro. Would it have been as successful if people were doing it virtually from their houses where everyone has gotten comfortable to be able to actually sit now? No, it wouldn't have, because when you come in, there's all types of psychology. Go back to the great book, which is called Dress for Success. There's this entire ritual that it's old school, late 1980s. Oh, probably Brian, you remember this book. I do. But there's a bunch of studies that went through where it's like, there's something about when you get up, you dress, brush your teeth, take a shower, get in the car, drive to the office. It tells your brain it's go time right now, versus, get up and go into the other room, which a lot of us got in the habit of. So getting into the office absolutely impacts the mindset where you go, this is work. This is different. I'm in a different environment. I love Tribe of Mentors, that book, Tribe of Mentors, which is phenomenal. Yeah. Where he says, your success is a function of your behaviors plus your environment. Right. So So your behaviors and success are a function of your environment, the environment and the people that you're around is what he said. Your behaviors, B equals P plus E. So you get into that environment and coming into the office, you're just different. So that's where I would start number one, even if you're a solo agent. Number two is making this commitment that you are going to, there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. People get tired of hearing me say it, and I'm never going to stop saying it. But if you're not doing an hour a day, you're not going to survive this business, period.
Hold on, Bill, what do you mean by an hour a day doing what specifically?
Lead generation, or primarily lead generation of calling your past clients, your sphere, online leads, calling around listings, calling around sales, calling expireds, calling for sell by owners, calling probate attorneys, calling probate, like whatever it is that your hour is, but you're out there hunting for new business, right? I truly believe this market has exposed a lot of people in terms of their inability, like I said, because they didn't need to prospect. But in this world today, I go, it's an hour to survive. Like I really do believe, and I do not have quantitative data to be able to support this yet. I will though. Give me 6 more months and I'll have the data to support the level of success correlated with the level and the hours of prospecting. I think it's an hour a day minimum to survive. It's 2 hours if you want to grow. It's 3 hours a day if you want to have enormous breakthrough. Okay. And that is the consistency. So,
okay. So what do you
talk about that real quick, Bill? Because here's something I want to ask you. When you say an hour a day, what happens before, what happens after that hour? And realistically, how many calls are you making? I'm full disclosure. I'll piss some people off. I'm okay with it. Nothing frustrates me more than an agent who's excited, who made 7 phone calls in an hour and had 1 conversation, and they call that success. Yes. So tell me what that means, because some people, I prospect for an hour. Do you really?
So this is fascinating. I got the time on Friday to spend some time with a good friend of mine and who you know down in Denver, and it will remain anonymous. And he's got a couple people that is on his team, and they were like, yeah, we're engaged in mayhem. And they'd show up, they'd bullshit, they'd walk around, and they're like, and they gave the same thing. No one's answering the phone. Well, when they looked at the outbound dials that were taking place, it was 1/3 to 25% of everybody else. What I mean is an hour a day is before I come in, I've got like my call sheet. I've got my numbers like all set up. I've done the success, the preparation that'll lead to success. Sun Tzu, the great military strategist and general, said every battle is won before it's fought. See, and I think every prospecting session is the success of it is determined before you even pick up the phone. Have you minimized the distraction? Have you turned off your phone? Have you done all these things so that when you come in, you're nose down grinding? And you're just like, if you're on a dialing system with FUB or Sierra or anything along these lines, you're just like, next, press the dialer, next, press the dialer, next, press the dialer, next, press the dialer, right? For me, if you're going to spend the hour, you got to get at least 5 conversations in that hour, man. And if you're not getting 5, I think that's realistic in today's world based upon what I've seen with our last 30 days. If you're really booging, you can probably get 7 or 8, or if you're having conversations that are shorter, you may get 7, 8, 9, 10. But if you're having meaningful conversations with certain leads or people, it's probably going to be 5 conversations an hour. Now you do that math. It's 5 conversations an hour, 1 hour a day, 35 conversations per week times 50 weeks, puts you up at about 1,500 or 1,600 conversations for the year. You can't tell me you're not going to sell 16 or 17 homes during that time from that. That's at least survival. If I want to go beyond that, I want to have a breakthrough, I'm going to need to do more. There's the 2 hours. If I want to have that big breakthrough, I've got to do 3 hours. So it is like, take a break in there, but it is, while I'm here, it's like this. We all work out. You go to the gym. I love those people that I see in the gym that they say they're going to the gym, but they're reading the freaking newspaper as they're sitting on the bench press. This is like my age newspaper. I don't even think people know it. Or they're now in today's world, they're sitting there and they got their phone and they're doing whatever and they're bullshitting on their phone. You're not fucking working. Excuse me. You're not freaking working out, right? You're taking up space. And there's people that do that with lead gen as well too, and prospecting. So it's prepared, diligently going through, not stopping till I talk to my 5. And then when I'm done, determining if I continue at that point. So, yeah. So that is number 2 for me. right? Number one is suit up, boot up, get your butt in the office. Number two is massive action, every single day for an hour to survive, 2 hours to thrive, 3 hours for a breakthrough. Okay. I think the other piece as well too is if I'm talking or I'm coaching an individual agent, I would say that you're probably losing more money in your crappy follow-up than any other part of the business right now. Your inability to be able to follow up the necessary times in order to be able to get the appointment and to get the sale. Tristan, we found a data point. This is from about 4 years ago. And this is over about 2,500 to 3,000 agents that we kept track of. An agent that will have 5 conversations with a lead, guys. Like, I'm about to give you guys a hack that is a 6-figure hack. An agent that will have 5 conversations with a lead, right? Even if that conversation is smack and it's not even good, will on average earn $107,000 more than someone that has fewer than 5 follow-up conversations. So if all you did in 2023 is say, I have 5 conversations with every single one of my leads that said they want to buy or sell sometime in the year, chances are you would actually increase your income by 6 figures. And for most people watching this, 6 figures changes a fundamental component of your life. Now you layer on top of that the right thing to say. Hey, can I please speak to Brian? Hey, Brian, this is Bill Pipes over with Banana Real Estate. I'm calling you back like I said I would when you last spoke. You said you're moving to blank by blank because of blank. Is that still your time frame? Is that still your plans? Great. The reason I'm calling you is because I wanted to share some information with you that I think is important for you in terms of your purchase or your sell, right? And I get done with that and I say, so Brian, do you want to be sold in the next 90 days or simply start the selling process at that time? Well, fortunately to get you, if I have the right dialogue, which by the way, that is my follow-up dialogue that we teach and has been so effective, you layer that on top of those 5 conversations, that's where you have the breakthrough, man. So there's the second piece is like, don't stop until you have 5 conversations. If you're going to put them in a hot or a nurture category, then it's your responsibility to have 5 conversations with them before you make a decision on whether they're motivated or not.
Does it matter who we're having a conversation with in your book? Like, should we be calling expireds or sale by owners, past clients, fear? What does that look like?
So I'll share with you what I think is the perfect layout, at least what worked for me and what I've seen work for the people that I've coached over the years. Start with easy to begin with, right? Have 2 or 3 calls with past clients that you start your prospecting off with, because it makes it so that you get warmed up, right? And it's typically like, yeah, dude, if I call Tristan or I call Brian, it's going to be an easy conversation. There's not going to be a lot of pressure on me, So I want to have it be, I want the first call to be like a fluffer call where it's easy for me to make the call. It's simple, like I don't have a lot of pressure on me. I can just get the wheels rolling because every single day, I don't care who you are. There's a very rare day, bro, where I was like, yeah, baby, 2 hours, probably 4 people going to tell me and call me names that my mom didn't give me. And this is going to be super fun. And I can't wait. Right. So there had to be like a ritual behind it. When that ritual was role playing, doing my affirmations with my affirmation partner, calling 2 or 3 really easy calls. Then I would, if I was calling expireds, I go straight into expireds at that point because I wanted to be one of the first ones. If I wasn't calling expireds, I'd go into my hot leads because those are the highest probability of me getting an appointment, right? So if you're not calling expireds, go 2 or 3 easy, then go into your hot leads. Because if you can get an appointment with those hot leads, it changes your whole mindset for the rest of watching France play in the World Cup. When they got down, there was a frenetic pace to them, or watching the PKs. That's the easiest thing. Did any of you guys watch this, the Argentina-France game?
Dude, yeah, I loved it. Amazing.
Best World Cup final, I think.
Agreed.
Yep. Like I was like on the edge of my seat. When you saw France go down in the PKs, right? When it got saved at that very first one, right? Then you went, oh shit, it changed the energy. They were playing from behind at that point. And you saw Argentina when they got up, right, relieve some of the pressure on them. If you can get that appointment, here's how it relays over to all of us. You get that appointment at the very beginning of your prospecting, or you get a really good call with a lead, right? All of a sudden your mindset shifts and changes, and you're like Argentina instead of France. You're playing on top of the game versus behind the game at that point. So,
Yeah, true. Very true. It's like, you mentioned kind of warming up and saying, hey, I'm like, you're calling me or you're calling Brian. It's a little bit easier. I would compare it to working out. Like, you don't just start sprinting from the very first, you kind of, you stretch out, right? You get into it and then you go, right? So very, very similar, man.
And it's all ritualistic too. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at it, it's a routine that you develop. It isn't just a thing that you do. Prospecting is a part of that routine. Lead generation is a part of that routine. That routine starts with when you get up. Did you work out? Did you eat something that's going to give you some energy? Or if you're intermittent fasting, did you have your freaking bulletproof coffee or whatever, bulletproof matcha, like,
which I want. Now I want that.
Dude, the bulletproof matcha, I'm telling you right now, I don't drink coffee, but the matcha, give it to me, man. And then you like watch some affirmations, do whatever it is that you're going to do so that it's game time. You go watch the Broncos. Broncos have a warm up. You go to see the Nuggets. Nuggets should have a warm up, right? So you go to any sports team, they have a warm up prior to the game. To your point, Tristan, they don't just hop on the field, the court, the pitch and begin to play. Why? Because they want to be able to perform well. They don't want to injure themselves. Well, injury and lead and prospecting is, like you miss out on a couple of opportunities that you could have had. You end up practicing on the prospect or the lead or the client instead of practicing with somebody else. And that's a travesty right there. So.
Yeah. Very true, man. Very true. Brian, were you going to say something? Because I don't want to.
Bill kind of covered it. It's a big pet peeve of mine. I feel like the majority of real estate agents and probably sales professionals as a whole, the analogy is they run out in the field for the coin flip in their street clothes and go, I'm ready, but they haven't warmed up. They don't even have their freaking uniform on yet. They're not ready. And then they go, this sucks. The leads suck. The people suck. Yes. No, you did not show up. Can you imagine in any other job in the world, if you showed up how people often show up in real estate, like you'd get fired. Good thing you work for yourself so you can't get fired. But, think about that. One of my favorite things to say is, would you hire you or would you fire you? Mm-hmm. And, if people are honest, and by the way, there's days I'd fire me. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but, show up like it matters.
Yeah, I love it. I love it, BC.
That's sure. Very true, man. I think on warm up, I'm going to go to both of you on this one. But on warming up to make the calls, that's kind of transitioning into the business aspect of this. Bill, how do you transition into just taking on the day in the morning before you get into your work mode? How does that look?
I'd love to say I'm perfect.
Okay. How about you, Brian? I'm joking. Good.
No, so 90% of the time, I mean, I look at my cyborg business partner, John Cheplack, like up at 3:30, etc. I'm a human being. 90% of the time I'm up, I'll do a small workout. I do this thing that's called the 6x10, right? Or I used to call it the 1800. But it's easier to quantify this based upon a day. Every single day, I have 6 commitments of my rituals that are in derivatives of 10. I will, at a minimum in the morning, work out for 10 minutes. Now, most of the time I'm training to actually go down to South America right now and climb mountains. So my workout is closer to an hour and a half or 2 hours right now of long, boring training. But at least I say it's 10 minutes in the morning. And then I'm going to listen to 10 minutes of a podcast or something. Ed my life. I'm just loving Hormozy right now. Like, Alex Hormozy is just a beast, right? So I'm just really digging into that. And then I'll do 10 affirmations. If I can't show you, but up on my wall, I've got a partner, a affirmation partner. That's the longest standing relationship commitment in my life, longer than my ex-marriage, right? So he's been my affirmation partner for 17 years. Dude. And we start the day off. Big shout out to Carlos Gutierrez, agent down in San Diego. I just love him to death. And we get up and we don't call each other, but we Marco Polo each other. And we've been doing this for years. You know, hey, I'm alive, excited, full of energy. Don't know the wealth of this world now flows to me through both seen and unseen avenues. I live my life from my highest self. We just go through these affirmations. So I won't bore you with all of them. So that's the first 3 of the 6. And then in the evening, so that launches me in. If I was still actively selling real estate, which I don't because I speak and I coach and I train right now, and that's primarily what I do. But where I, actively in the business, then it would be into role play at that point, like I do some role play. But if that role play I want it to butt up against my prospecting, because I want to go straight into that, from that warm up into game time. Now in the evening, because here's what I go back to: every battle won before it's fought. There's a direct correlation to what I did the night prior to how I perform the next morning, guaranteed. Enough sleep, whatever. And if I do my evening ritual, which is 10 pages read in a book, minimum, these are minimums, they aren't like ideal, but at a minimum, 10 pages read, 10 gratitudes written down, and meditate for 10 minutes. I know I'm clearer for the next morning, and I've set myself up with a rolling start, to be able to actually crush the next day as well too.
That's good, man. I like them.
I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be pushing this for everyone. You'll see it on my social media. I'm pushing the 6x10 challenge for January, because I think everyone needs to have the ability to be able to actually jump in. And because if this is off, good luck on this, because if you don't have this dialed in and you're thinking the wrong things, unless you're a pro and a master where you're at unconscious competence, it'll mess up the dialogue, how much you close, your energy level, everything that is required of the 8 pillars of influence.
So true. So true. How about you, Brian? What's your transition into just first getting ready to be you?
Honestly, I get up every day. I'm pretty early. I'm an early riser, so if anyone wants a phone call at 5 a.m, I'm up. So I started out that way. My mornings are really focused on drinking a lot of water. I know that seems like really silly, but drinking a lot of water. And then I spend about an hour every day doing some kind of coaching, training, learning, growing. Because at the end of the day, it's the whole saying, all of us have been at KW at one time, a bold law: your business grows as you grow. So that's what's really important to me. Jim Quick, I know that you're a big fan of him, Tristan. I read his stuff. He says you can control 2 hours a day, the first and the last. And I heard Bill talk about that. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. What am I going to do first thing in the morning? For me, it's growing and learning. I do other things throughout the day, but then at the last, what am I doing? I do some meditation at night before I go to bed to focus myself. Because here's the thing: the last thing you think about is the thing you're going to dream about. So what am I going to set myself to spend the next 6 to 8 hours working on? Well, it's not going to be some garbage that I heard over here. It's going to be something that's positive, puts good energy out there for me and into the world. So.
Love it.
I love that, man. That's a really good thing. Okay, last thing, Bill, where do people sign up? Where do they go? What should they expect? 2-day, 3-day? What does this look like?
Yeah, it's 3-day. It's Agent Success Mastery, right?
Okay.
Agent Success Mastery. It's a partnership with us in Success Coaching, which I'm really proud and excited about to see that taking place. Go to the website. Here was the thing. I absolutely 100% have a mission. That mission is called No Agent Left Behind. Right. I've been on this for the last 6 to 8 months. I've watched a wonderful movie called We Were Soldiers. My whole family's military. And so it's a great Mel Gibson movie that's out there, and about the first official engagement that took place in the Vietnam War. And Mel Gibson was the colonel that said, my foot will be the first one on the battlefield and the last one to leave. And he said, we're not going to, he goes, can't promise you that you're going to come home alive, but you will come home. And so they would run out and they'd grab the bodies and bring them back. Well, here's my mission for 2023, and it was for 2022, is that if you're willing to do the work, if you're willing to put in the time, you won't get left behind. I'll put you on my shoulders, whoever it is, and fucking run you off the battlefield or across the finish line. My way of doing that for you guys are these little things that we do, Mayhem and the 6x10 and Agent Academy coaching. But the main thing is sales mastery, right? Which is, I believe that the skilled agent will crush. I know I've been through 3 of these freaking suckers. We all have, we've seen it. And the ones that win are the ones that know what to say and can have influence in their conversations and their dialogues. And if you put yourself in a 3-day immersion where you're completely separate from everything else, right? Everyone's got stuff going on, but 3 days where you're just working on you at the beginning of the year, what you need to say, how you need to say it, what the strategy is that needs to be built out, and you drill that down over and over again while you're in the event, you will come out of there with more confidence, more certainty. Intuitively, what you recognize is your year will be different because you'll feel confident, you'll know what to say, and you'll be taking more action in that as well too. So join me, guys. Like, it's January 9th, 10th, and the 11th. It's in Fort Lauderdale. If you're a leader and you register 10 people, like the first group of people that do that, we're already at like almost 600 people registered for this event. It's bananas. But if you're a leader and you bring 10 of your people, you get a private mastermind on Sunday. There's information on the website about that. But this isn't just for big teams. It's for the solo agent that's like, I am ready to have that breakthrough, man, but I need to actually hone my skills. So.
All right. Are you going to do an LA one anytime in the next 12 months?
We are working on our schedule right now. So yes, the next one that we have, there is another one coming up, but it isn't until later on in the year that will be for Canadian-based clients as well.
All right.
Right now, here's what I would say. The longer you wait, the more income you miss out on, an opportunity that you lose. And,
That's very true.
You guys, as you think about it, when you put your head down, you realize this is the time to be able to, like, January 9th, 10th, 11th, come out of the gate strong, and ignite that fire. So
I love that, man. I love that. All right, everyone, please join everyone I've talked to, by the way, that has attended. I think you guys did one a few months back. They came back and said, what an amazing event. You had everyone. I think Glenn Sanford at that one.
Yeah, Glenn was there, Valdez was there, the whole, like, everyone was there. And it's very funny because Glenn got up about 20 minutes into it and walked out. And I mean, as a speaker, I've been doing this for years. I've logged, I think, Brian, you know this, 115,000 coaching sessions, 55,000 hours of coaching, countless, like probably 500,000 people through seminars I've led. When Glenn Sanford got up and walked out, my drunk monkey went, he doesn't fucking like it. I'm like, oh my God, dude, what is going on right now? Right. And so my sphincter went up like that. Turned out he was running to the back of the room to have a conversation with my partners to say, we got to do this. This is amazing. And so that feedback got back to me. So it made me very, very proud of the work that we've done and the agents who are in that room just battling it out. Because I'm going to tell you guys, 2023, it's going to be gritty. It's going to be battle. It's going to be warrior, like, all year long. But if you're willing to come at it with a sharpened, like steel sharpens steel, baby, you come at this market with a sharp sword, you're going to be able to actually name your price in terms of what you earn. So,
on that, man, on the sword, which is kind of cool that you brought that up. What is it? Iron sharpens iron, right? Yeah. And this is exactly what we're talking about here. So great job on doing this, brother. I appreciate you. Brian, appreciate you as well, man. Thank you for being on, guys.
Yeah, I appreciate all you do, Tristan, man. You bring so much value into this space of real estate. And it's been so exciting to watch Lab Coats and everything else grow, and just on the back of your commitment to be able to actually make an impact and a difference in this space. And BC, man, you're invaluable. You're my bro, and I just love you to death. So thanks for the opportunity to be on this call with you guys. So
thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Merry Christmas. Good to see you.
Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Yeah.
Happy Hanukkah.
All right, guys. Take care.